Hi guys, it's me. I'm doing this story because, well, I have a friend in the Philippines whose child has brain cancer, and he sold everything he has to help his child. He's a father of 3 kids, husband. He sold his property, his house, his livestock. To put it in perspective, he lives in the floodplains where it floods most of the year. His house is built on stilts. To get to the nearest hospital, it's 4 hours by a pump boat going down streams. I got an email the other day from a pastor that I lived with for about 2.5 months saying this guy that I met, my friend Robert, my brother Robert, is in need of my help. And so I prayed, and God put it on my heart to do this. I'm trying to raise $600 to help get his family out of the hospital, his child. They don't have enough money for treatment. They had enough money to diagnose and to figure out what was wrong, and now they have to trust God for the rest. But the thing is, they cannot leave the hospital until they finish paying off the bill. And if they cannot pay it off the bill, then he's going to go to prison. That sounds harsh, but it's a true reality. And how do I know? Because I lived it myself. When I was in the Philippines, I was in the hospital. When they charged me white skin tax, I said I wasn't going to pay. And then the pastor said, if I don't pay, then I'm going to jail. So I paid. So this guy has a choice between somehow miraculously getting the money and going to jail and having everything lost. This is why it's important to me. Because of a unique moment I had with this individual. A moment that God changed my life forever. I want to read it to you. It's called Candlelight Love. So the other day I was asked if I did missions in a way to remember Jesus Christ. Meaning, is missions the way I remember who God is? Does it help me see Him more clearly? Does it grow my relationship with God? Though I was never able to give a response to this man that lived in the village, I thought about what he said. So here's the story, and here's my answer. Almost everyone asked me if they were the poorest people I'd ever met. Living in the floodplains, not having bathrooms, fresh water, or anything that they could give me to make me feel more like an American hurt them because they wanted to bless me. My thinking was, it's not a problem. If I need to take a dump, I'll go behind the cornfield or something. But I assured them that it was not a problem. They tried to find ways to make it cooler for me because it was so hot. None of these were done by request. I assured them time after time that it's okay, that I'm fine the way I am. I like living the way they do, it was my response. But I noticed something in that moment. If I tried to give to them, I would be sending them the message what they had and wanted to give to me was not good enough. So I had to quickly change my way of thinking, not to give, but to receive. Receiving from them meant more than anything that I could have ever given them. To live like them, to be with them, and to share what they had, and to become a part of one of them. At the end of my trip, they were so thankful for me coming and being a part of their families. I was told something, or I was told so many times that they were blessed because I wanted to live like them. By me being like them, it said I saw a value in what they had and how God accepted them as humans and loved them. So my actions spoke louder than words. Building relationships with them was more important than trying to give. There was a moment last night when I was sleeping on the hardwood floor, and my friend Robert came over to me with a candle, and he held it up to my face. In his broken English, "Hey, you sleep?" I rolled over and looked at him, smiled. "No." He said, "Okay." And he sat down right by me. God, in that moment, started doing something in me. I sat up, and I asked him if he wanted to talk. "Okay." He put his hand over his heart, and he extended it towards me. He said, I love you, brother. will you remember me? And I told him that I'd always remember him. At this time, I walked to my bag praying that there would be something in there that I could give him. Right before I left, I decided to take a necklace that my sister-in-law gave me for my birthday several years ago. Took it out and gave it to him. Now the thing is that so many other people had asked for that necklace back here in America. And I wouldn't give it to them because it had so much value and meaning to me because it was a gift. But except I would only give it under candlelight love. He asked me if we could be friends. I said yes, but we can even be brothers. He already is a believer, but being brothers means more than being friends. His face when I gave him the necklace became overwhelmed with tears, and it filled his eyes. And he began to say, "You give me in remembrance of you?" I said, "Yes, I'll leave a little bit of me with you so that you'll always remember me." He said, "I can't repay you for this gift. I have nothing because I am so poor." I told him that I did not give this to get something from him, but I gave this to him because I loved him. Do this in remembrance of me, as Jesus broke bread and passed it to his disciples, and poured out the wine as an example of him pouring out his life for others. I believe that the sacraments are very important in taking them, but how much more important is it to live life like the sacraments, putting our bodies and our flesh in a place of sacrifice for others, and pouring out our lives for the cause of others. What does the story remind you of? To me, God showed me his gift of salvation and his love that I could never have paid for, that I was so poor that I could have never received. I was unworthy to accept it. Candlelight love is about seeing the love in Robert's eyes and seeing how much more I was like him than I thought. But in this story, I am poor, and I am the one who is homeless, yet can't afford anything that God has ever given me. But yet out of love, I am able to receive the gift that means more than anything. I say that to say this. Maybe after realizing just how much God has given us, we might be able to look past the things we have and understand the value of what he has given us. And just maybe, then, we can be better givers after seeing and understanding what God has given us. This story is a direct result of that night that I spent with Robert. And how I gave him something and I said, "Hey, keep this in remembrance of me." Because he asked me to remember him. And I can't sit here now and just look by as he needs me more than ever to step in and be his brother. Yes, God can do a miracle that I cannot even be a part of. But why not let God choose me and you to be a part of that miracle in his life? I'm asking you if you would donate anything to help us not only pay to get him and his family out of the hospital, but enough that we could even help him have a house or even some property. It doesn't hardly cost anything to live. And I can't sit by and tell someone I'm going to remember them and not do it. So please, contact me and be willing to give. Thank you.